What's going on, guys? It's Sean here. In front of me I have a 2021 BMW X540i. So this is the base model with the 6-cylinder motor. This specific vehicle does have a couple of upgrades and we'll just go over them. So this will be a quick overview on the outside and the inside with some of the tech. So let's get started on the front. This specific vehicle is in the Arctic gray exterior metallic paint. And again, it's a nice cloudy day. You can see all the kind of reflections on the side. It's a beautiful paint job. Looking at the front end, you're greeted with the chrome front end grille. You'll notice on the inside of the grille, you have some active shutters there, so it helps warm the vehicle up. It also helps with the fuel economy as well. This vehicle has the upgraded park assist feature, which we'll talk about, but part of that gives you the camera on the front, camera on the back, and 2 on the side mirrors. When it comes to headlights, you have a couple of choices. So you have your standard LED headlights. This one has the laser lights. So you can tell with the blue little icon across there that it is laser headlights. And what does that mean? It means you can individually, depending on the car coming in front of you, turn off certain lights so you're not blinding people. You get better visibility, so further distance. And it's a whiter light, so just overall brighter light. LED fog lights across the bottom, and then you do have a couple of park distance sensors across the front and back. When it comes to the front end, you have a couple of different configurations as well. So this is your standard X line. As you see here, you have some chrome accents across the bottom, across the front end. You also have the option of getting an M Sport package. So what that does, from the license plate down, you get more of an aggressive grille. So it just gives it a more of a sportier appearance. And looking below the license plate, you'll see one of the sensors here that help with the adaptive cruise control that the vehicle has. Making our way over here, and we're just gonna pan out a little bit as well so you get a good side shot. Again, X-Line package, you'll see chrome across the windows, chrome across the bottom, and you have the chrome roof rails as well. M Sport gets rid of all the chrome, so it just blacks everything out. Looking at the tires, so an X5 2021 comes standard with a 20-inch rims that you see on the vehicle right now on run flat tires. You do have the option, depending on M Sport, non-M Sport, and different trims, to go up to a 22-inch rim. So you have 20, 21, 22. And then you also have the option of going to performance tires, which gets rid of the run flats, just obviously a better, more performance-oriented vehicle. This has the standard brakes, but you also have the option of the M Sport upgraded rims. I mentioned on the side, the park assist. There's one of the side cameras there. LED lights on the side. And this vehicle does have your blind spot, so you have it on both sides of the mirrors. Okay. It keeps locking in my pocket, but looking at the back end, again, you have dual exhaust across the bottom. The rear valence has a little bit of a brushed silver. And then you do have the park distance controls or sensors across the back end as well. There's your rear view camera. Integrated light across the top. Then you'll see the shark fin antenna with the panoramic sunroof across the top. Panning out a little bit further, if you look at the remote, you have a couple of ways of opening the vehicle. So if you tap this button here, right now it's configured to actually open up both shells. But if you like, you can have this bottom piece up here stay closed, and it just basically protects items, or if you have like a dog in here, for example, who's trying to get out, kind of prevents them from getting out. So in the back space, you have about 56 cubic feet of space. If you have those rear seats down, it's about 72, correct me if I'm wrong. So on this vehicle, you can use the latches over here to lower the seats. Depending on trim options, this can actually be upgraded to buttons as well. Grocery hook hangers, LED lights for the back end, your tethering system, so it's a 40-20-40 split. And because it's run flat tires, this vehicle does not have a spare, so you get a little bit of extra cargo across the bottom. Over here, you're gonna see kind of the rear mats down there. And then you have a couple of kits as well, lock nuts, kind of the essential items down there. Okay, so you have a couple of options. So this vehicle, you can use this button over here to close this back clamshell. This button over here actually helps lower the vehicle. So if you're loading heavy items into the vehicle, press this, and with the air suspension, it's actually going to lower the back end. And then across the top, you have the button to close, and you can actually close and lock the door as well if you're kind of walking away with groceries. So let's make our way to the front. I'm going to go over the engine now and a couple of differences that you get. With most modern BMWs, if you use the latch to open it twice, all you have to do is lift, and it opens up the front hood. Again, no sharp spikes over here, but greeted here is the standard base model engine. So you have a 3.0 six-cylinder turbo motor. Produces about 335 horsepower, 330 pound-feet of torque, but I've driven an Audi Q7, this does feel faster, even though the numbers might be different. If you look across the back, so you see these purple little wires across the back. On the 2021 model, they've actually introduced a 48-volt mild hybrid. Basically what it does is it helps a little bit with the fuel economy, but also helps power your electronics. So it's less strain on the battery, less strain on the motor as well. It does improve fuel economy a little bit. So on a vehicle like this, you're looking at like 21 to 25 mpg, depending on where you drive, or in Canadian terms, as low as 9 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. With this vehicle or the X5 platform, you do have a couple of options. So this is the 40 model with a 6-cylinder turbo. Again, introduced on the 2021 is the 45E. So that's a plug-in hybrid, gives you combined power of about 389 horsepower and almost 60 kilometers of range on only electric. So that's a huge addition to the BMW family. Otherwise, M50i, 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, 523 horsepower, or you can go up to an X5M, and if you get the competition edition, you're roughly 617 horsepower. So a lot of different options depending on what sort of power you're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna make my way to the back and let's look at the back seat. So coming into the back seat, we're just going to start off with the side door. Again, you're kind of greeted with some leather across the side. You do have some of the ambient lighting here as well. So it's about 6 different colors: blue, fuchsia, green, orange, bronze, and different versions of those as well. This vehicle does have the side shades up here. Again, they're manual, but it's good if you have kids in the back. Fairly deep cup holders as well. This vehicle does have the Vernasca leather seats. They are a standard seat in the vehicle. You do have the option of upgrading these seats to a extended or a full merino, which will give you softer, more plush seats. Gives it a little bit of a more luxury feel. Making my way on the inside, what you see in front of me is the travel and comfort system. So it gives you a USB charger on behind both seats. And a lot of people will ask, hey, do you have a rear entertainment system? And yes, you can get it on an X5. However, you can also get an adapter that plugs in an iPad to back here as well. I'm just gonna pan and look over there. The reason why I'm showing that, I'm about 6'2", and that front seat is set up for someone like me. I got lots of space. I can move my feet underneath. Got a little bit of storage under there. So I got quite a bit of space back here for taller people. Again, you have the latch system down here. So car seats, babies, this vehicle is perfect for them. You're just looking at the side door. One of the telltale signs that you do have an upgraded stereo system is the kind of the silver pattern on there. So this vehicle does have the Harman Kardon upgraded sound system. Only thing better is the Bang & Olufsen, which, I mean, once you get that, you're never gonna go back. Okay, and you got some piano black trim across the back, rear vents. This is 4-zone climate control, so everybody can control their own climate. Heating, heated seats in the back, pretty optioned out. And then finally, there's your armrest. You got a little bit of storage under there. It's a little bit jammed there, but you have your cup holders down there as well. Okay, there's your front. I just want to show the front off a little bit before we make our way up and show off the panoramic sunroof. So today's a beautiful 18-degree weather day in Canadians and Celsius, so it means it's relatively warm up here in Canada, but great visibility. So let's make our way to the front and go over some of the options. And before we open up the front door, I just want to go over the door handles. So you'll see some grooves back here, and you just heard the door lock over there, and you have this little slot here. So the BMW X5 does come with a key card as well, so you can use a card to tap to unlock or lock, and also start the vehicle up as well. So it gives you another avenue. Instead of carrying keys, you can go that direction as well. And when you lock the door, you have the ability for power side folding mirrors. So we're opening the vehicle back up. There's a quick introduction to the inside of the front end. Again, to start off the side driver's door, you have your four-way adjusting windows. You have your side mirrors, locks, door handle, trunk, and you do have 2 memory seats. Cool thing about this button here is it gives you the ability to adjust your passenger seat. So big thing there is if you have, pregnant wife, grandparents, whoever who have a hard time getting into the vehicle, you can adjust a seat more comfortable for them. Continuing the ambient light across, and you have some oak wood trim with the Harman Kardon speakers and a tweeter up top. Looking at the seat, this is a comfort seat. So you'll notice here, looking at the bolsters, they're less dramatic than the sport seats. So again, easier to get in and out. The softer seat, better for more body styles as well. And then you do have 20-way adjustable seats down there as well. So again, just more comfortable for more different body types. Automatic headlights, fog lights, again, your standard features. You got a little cubby down here for like a wallet. Automatic window, power and tilt and telescopic. And if I make my way in, you're greeted with a nice bolstered steering wheel. So again, this steering wheel does have the heated button across the bottom. This specific vehicle does have your adaptive cruise control. So it does have the advanced driver assist package. Again, you can set the speed, you can set the distance, as you'll notice over here. And moving to the right side, you'll have your volume buttons, your different tracks, answer your phone, speak to the vehicle, or speak to Siri or Android Auto. And what I'll do right now is I'm actually going to start the vehicle up. Foot on the brake. And you're greeted by a nice 12.3-inch screen, completely digital. Again, these frames are on the side, just depending on if you are in sport mode or in comfort mode like I am right now. So if I go to sport mode, you'll notice it just there. If I go to Eco Pro mode, it goes into more of a fuel savings display. Across the top, and hopefully the camera captures it, you have your heads-up display, which is available on this vehicle. So it'll display the speedometer, basically the speed limits, navigation, incoming phone calls, change your radio stations. You get quite a bit of options. Looking at the steering wheel, you do have your paddle shifts back here. Across the left side, you have your turn signals, your trip computer, automatic headlights as well. And on the right side, you have your front and rear mirror washer controls as well. So if we look at the steering wheel, again, this is your standing steering wheel. You do have an M Sport steering wheel, which basically smooths it out and gives it more of a bolster. That's our 12-inch iDrive 7, so it has been updated. It's the latest generation. We do have iDrive 8 coming on the new electric models, but that one we're expecting early next year. Looking down here, you have heated seats on both sides. You have your defrosts, recirculation, and then you do have, again, 4-zone climate control, like I mentioned in the back. Completely customizable with this small screen here. Hazard lights, and then this button over here gives you the ability to adjust the safety features in the vehicle. So I kind of hit a couple different buttons, but let's press that once more. If I go to configure individual, you can control kind of the distance that you want your front collision mitigation, or how responsive you want it to be as well. So it does have side collision warning, lane departure warning, lane assist, active blind spot as well, front, and this vehicle has the rear cross traffic alert. Traffic jam assist is basically loaded with all sorts of driver assist features, which can make it semi-autonomous depending on the situation you're in. Across the bottom, you're going to see programmable buttons. So 8 different programmable buttons that can go towards a phone number, navigation setting, radio station, and so forth. Different modes and bands, and there's your volume control button, different tracks across there. And you'll notice down here, a continuation of the ambient lighting. It is a little bit earlier in the day, but at night it looks really stunning. It goes across the front dash. If we open this up, you're greeted with heated and cooled cup holders, 12-volt outlet, and another USB across there. Quick thing to note, this standard USB, this is the only type of USB you have in the vehicle. Everything else is the new USB-C. So if you have a lot of older cables, it's one thing to note. I talked about outside our digital memory key. So this is the memory key over here, or the digital key. You can use it, keep in your wallet, use it to unlock, lock, or even start the vehicle by leaving the key up here. And it does have the wireless charger tucked in down there as well. Looking at the shifter, and if we zoom in a little bit, you have your traction control, and then these two buttons here, if I press the top one, it has your rear view camera. If I press the bottom one, you'll notice your rear camera with trajectory, and it tells you if you're getting closer to objects. 360 camera, so with the park assist feature, it'll actually automatically, as you can see over there, automatically find a parallel park or a reverse parking space for you as well. You know, if you're in like downtown, for example, and it's harder for you to park a larger vehicle, the vehicle is fully autonomous. So what it'll do is you find the parking space, press the park button, and it will control the brakes, the steering wheel, and the acceleration. You just sit back and wait for it to do its thing. Below that, backup assist. Basically, if you drive into a tight spot and you're uncomfortable reversing out, the vehicle will actually take the same way out that you came in up to a certain distance. And we'll close that up there. Four different buttons down here. So most of the time you're going to have your comfort setting, which is a mix of Sport and Eco Pro. Sport setting is going to make tighten the suspension a little bit, hold the RPMs a little bit, so if you're overtaking someone on the highway, good option to have. Or Eco Pro if you're doing a long distance drive and want to save on gas, great option. Adaptive is a fairly new button on the BMW family. So what it does is, between finding the best mode between these three, it actually uses the GPS data to say, you know what, a curve's coming up, it's going to automatically adjust in the sport mode, so you don't have to keep pressing and filling around buttons. Below that, auto H, so that's auto brake hold, electronic handbrake, and hill descent. Actually, before we go there, so this vehicle comes with the air suspension. As you notice here, you have 4 different settings. Really, if you're driving, it's 5 different settings, but if you're driving, it's 4 different settings and a loading button across the bottom. On the X5s, you have basically 3 different suspensions you can get. So you get your standard suspension, which is on every model, air suspension, which is designed more to drive like you're on a cloud, or an adaptive M suspension, which tightens the suspension, makes it more of a sportier feel. Again, customizable, and you can get whichever option depending on your style. This is the upgraded iDrive system. Again, you do have your ability to type in letters there, shortcuts across the top, back, option buttons as well. There's your cabin, and you can store manuals and stuff like that there. If we look at the side over here, it opens out like that. Again, I mentioned USB-C down there, little pocket light, and then some of my equipment, but fairly deep storage. The one cool thing I wanted to mention was when you turn your heated seat on, this actually heats up as well. So it heats your arms up, you can heat your steering wheel up, and you can heat your seat up. So in the middle of winter, keeps you nice and toasty. Outside of that, looking at the iDrive system, again, it is touch capable. You have media, so you can go into AM, FM, Sirius XM radio, Spotify integration. Communications, your phone. With phones, this vehicle has wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Most people will use that. And on the updated iDrive 7, it goes right across. So it fills the whole screen versus the older BMWs, which only filled half. Navigation. It's the traditional navigation that you see on most BMWs. Again, this is one of the more cleaner interfaces. If you're looking for a location, you can type in ice cream or type in 123 Main Street, whatever you prefer. Car settings down here, so you have different statuses. You can see from here how your engine oil, when your next service is. Go to settings, and then you can adjust different options here. Again, if you want to adjust your seat positioning, you can always adjust that as well. And then you have BMW apps. I mentioned Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but if we look at the installed apps, one of the cool things I wanted to bring your attention to was the drive recorder. So with the drive recorder, it uses the front camera, the rear camera, and the 2 side cameras to record as you're driving. So a lot of people are putting those front camera dash cams in their vehicle for safety reasons and insurance reasons. If, God forbid, you get in an accident, you can actually pull that latest information or that latest video out of this vehicle and submit it to your insurance company. So again, if you're not at fault, you have proof you're not at fault. Cool thing that BMW added. I like it. And then you have My BMW, so that connects with the BMW app, gives you the functionality or the ability to remote start the vehicle from the app or the key as well, and check stuff like where your vehicle's parked, send addresses to your vehicle, fuel, for example, and service. So really cool to have those features there. Looking at the mirror, pretty frameless, and then you do have your garage openers across the bottom. LED lights across the top, so you have individual lights. You can open your sunroof or vent it from there, and you have your SOS button across the top as well. Black headliner, BMW does this on most, if not all, their vehicles, so I like it. It just makes it more sporty. And there's your back seat as well, and your visibility. So blind spot's really good on this vehicle too. Okay, this was a quick overview on the 2021 X540i. If you like stuff like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and put some requests. I love making these videos, and let me know how you like them. Again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.